The former Indiana surgeon arrested on a snowy Italian mountainside after 5 years on the run was handed a stiff prison term Friday for billing insurers and patients for procedures he didn't perform, with the federal judge saying he used patients like an ATM machine. Mark Weinberger was given the 7-year prison term, nearly double the recommendation under federal sentencing guidelines. U.S. District Judge Philip Simon said the more severe sentence was necessary because Weinberger, who disappeared just before he was charged, left a web of lawsuits, 401k problems for his 40 employees and health issues for thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Patients at his nose and sinus clinic. The fallout from this is enormous, the judge said, noting that hundreds of patients couldn't access their medical records after Weinberger fled while vacationing in Greece. I am very certain he knew at the time his world was collapsing around him, Simon said. Instead of addressing this collapsing, he fled from it. Simon also said Weinberger ran his medical office like a factory, saying he moved patients through in volume so he could earn more than $30 million in the 3 years before he fled. The judge thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Sentenced Weinberger nearly 18 months after rejecting a plea deal that called for a 4-year prison sentence, saying he wasn't confident it took into account the magnitude of the crimes. Weinberger pleaded guilty in July to 22 counts of healthcare fraud under a plea deal that called for no more than 10 years in prison. However, normal recommended sentencing guidelines called for between 3 and 4 years in prison. Weinberger's attorney initially asked that his client be sentenced to time served, but he changed his request during Friday's hearing to a 4-year sentence. He said Weinberger thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Had been a model inmate, volunteered as a cook and tutor for other inmates trying to earn their GIDS. He also started an inmate yoga program at the Chicago prison where he's being held and is running an anger management program. Weinberger, dressed in an orange jumpsuit and his hair in a bun in the back, a sharp contrast to the shaved head at an earlier hearing in April 2011, rocked in his chair with his hands to his mouth when Simon handed down the sentence. The shackles around Weinberger's feet clanked against his chair sporadically throughout thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. The hearing. He apologized earlier during Friday's hearing, saying he had no explanation. I'm sorry. I lied. I stole. I betrayed the sacred trust. I have no excuse. There is no excuse. I am sorry, Weinberger said. He said he let many people down, listing his family, colleagues, employees, friends and patients, saying he wished he could make it up to them. The best I can do is spend every minute trying to redeem myself, he said. Is redemption possible? I don't know. But please, Your Honor, let me try. Several of his victims said thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. They were satisfied with the sentence. It was all right, said Bill Boyer, of Garrett, who won the $300,000 medical malpractice judgment against Weinberger but hasn't received any money because the case is being appealed. I would have preferred 10, but I'll take 7. Peggy Hood of Valparaiso, the sister of Phyllis Barnes, a patient Weinberger treated for sinus problems but didn't diagnose the advanced throat cancer that killed her, said she was pleased with the judge's decision. No sentence would be long enough to satisfy me or the rest of her family. But it turned out thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Better than we hoped, she said. Weinberger has already spent nearly 3 years behind bars. He was arrested in December 2009 in Italy on a snowy mountainside where authorities said he had been living in a tent. He stabbed himself in the neck while being taken into custody and spent time recovering in a hospital before being returned to the U.S. His attorney, Valdez Kurtzes, said the sentence was fair. Kurtzes had argued the case as one of simple theft that had been blown up by the press. The judge took a lot of things into thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Consideration. I was hoping he was going to give him less time. But I understand the logic behind it, he said. Kurtzes said Weinberger was not displeased by the sentence. He was hoping he was going to get less. But he was not displeased, he said.